Okay, folks, good morning. So we're going to do a couple different things today. I got some decaling I need to do on my tanks, and then while that's drying, we're going to have to downshift it to something else. We want to keep the ball moving. So let me go grab the Americana decals here. That should be them. I guess I use a little box for the British ones because the British ones are like every which way. Yeah, these are all Commonwealth over here. Okay. What I have is here. Let's see what we got. We did take notes on where we want things on them. The Wolfman out for a walk. Walking the doggo. What if anybody out there walks their cat? Well, there's some desert rat stuff in here. Those guys are in the wrong place. All right. Americans. I believe these are petting house. Screw these guys. They're terrible. Oh. Horrible. Horrible decals. What the heck is this? Oh, this is the Brand Carrier one. All right, that's for the bits. This is an old one that I got from Don stuff. Okay, here's the American decals. Nope, they're mixed in with the Soviets. What the heck? Soviet. Soviet. Allied Stars. Okay, who the heck are these from? These are from Alaran. Those guys were okay. Soviet. Okay, here's some American ones. These are old. These are probably the ones that come with the Hasegawa Stewart, which I don't have a model of it, but yeah, I guess we can. I guess we can put them in here. Those will probably shatter on impact. Here's Alaran decals. They're not great either. I mean, I don't like decals that are all one big sheet. These are the weight markers. Got those for the Brits. Okay, here's some Americans. These are the best ones. These are the microscale. These are the best ones of the ones I have. Microscale. Also Americans. All right, let's sort this stuff out. Oh, but this is actually the white scout car. Okay. That I'm using for the Soviet. I don't know if I decaled that thing or not. Who's this? This is you can barely make those things out. These are old. Made in Japan, probably Hasegawa. What's this? You barely make out what that is. These are the Shermans, which are neither here nor there. 25-pounder field gun, weapons carrier, and that one. All right, so this is what we have right here. All right. This is what we have to choose from. I know you took notes on what I'm looking for each one. Your friend Justin, who owns a Veni Vidi Vici decals, walks his cat. Is it a big cat? I've encountered 2 cats in my entire life. I haven't spent a lot of time with pets. I've encountered 2 cats that I didn't absolutely not give a shit about. It's not that I don't hate cats, but it's like cats don't care about you generally. It's like, hey, bitch, where's my food? You know. One guy I used to war game with, he had a white cat named Jack, and he was awesome. You know, if a cat comes in and sits next to him, I'll give him some, comfort. But you can't have like an attitude. Like, he doesn't like to be touched. Well, then why is he like up against me? Control freak. My daughter's allergic to cats, so didn't get that from my side of the family. I've just never grew up with any animals. Okay, what do we got here? Notes here. All right, we got 2 M4A3s. I could read my damn handwriting here. I can't read my own damn handwriting. Black dot stars all around on one of them. On this one. Okay. Which what we do is, I'll use stars that, for some reason, they give you a lot of stars in all the sets. They give you a lot of stars with a circle around them or with a circle that has this dashed. Personally, I like that one the best. Unfortunately, they pretty much only use that one in Italy, on the side of the turrets. You're not going to see that one in Northwest Europe. Now, I was reading in one of the books and I want to say it was the one I'm reading about that I just finished about Italy, that said pretty much there was a mandate that happened after. I'm just going to be pulling things out of the air. I want to say either after the landings at Salerno or after the landings in Sicily. After the landings in Sicily or after landings in Salerno or something like that. It was one of those two. Where there was a mandate that they mandated to put a circle around all the white stars. That's what it said in this book. I don't know if it's accurate. I don't need to dig any further. But I can just tell you, if you look at photographic evidence in Northwest Europe, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a Sherman tank with a star on the side of the turret and a circle around that star. Anytime you'll see a star with a circle around it, it's always in Italy. And there's ones in Italy that also don't have a circle around them. But if you see a circle around it on the side of the turret, it's almost always a picture of one in Italy. It might almost always be. All of a sudden I'm coughing. Are these like old decals that are making me cough? Is that this old crustacean of a decal? Asbestos in somebody's freaking thing. So, with that said, the circular decals are great because if you want to make... So, when you get a set of decals, you'll get like this. I don't know if this will come up on a video. Where you'll get this set of decals, right? And it doesn't ask you, do you want them in circles? Do you want them not in circles? You just get like allied stars. And of all of the decals, very few of them come without circles around them. Now, you can take a circular one and just cut the circle part out, and there you go. You don't have to use the circle around it. But the other use I've found for them is they work great for stars that are blacked out. So I'll still put the decal down and I'll paint around it because, freehanding a star would take forever. It's not that it can't be done. It is just, it's a big waste of time. You come in and, okay, that one's a little bit longer. And you come in and you turn it around and, okay, that one's a little bit longer. It just takes forever to do that sort of thing. So the decals that aren't very, that are all circular, like if you look at these micro scales, I love micro scales the best. I don't see any stars that are by themselves. You can see they're all the ones that are cut out here. Other than these huge ones. So I'm going to take these that have the broken circles and use those for regular stars. Because these are the best. There's one other company that does decals that are as good as these, as microscale. I don't remember who it is. I want to say it's UM. The ones that come in the UM kits are really good, which is unusual because some stuff from Eastern Europe is all over the place. I believe it's the UM decals that are really good. Oh, the S model decals are really good as long as they're printed in the right color. I got some that were orange, supposed to be yellow and they're orange, but the S model ones, they're really flat. But the microscale ones, the reason why they're good is they're thin, but they're not too thin. They don't tear on you. And they're individual decals. I don't like this is all one sheet. If you dip this whole thing in water, you could peel the whole thing off and you have an entire sheet that you would just go and paste on the wall. Right? So you individually have to cut these things out, which is a kind of a pain in the ass when they're round. You know, you got to be careful how you cut them, because if you cut them with like scissors or something, like you burr up the edges, that's going to allow them to not lay flat. That, and you can see how difficult I don't know if you can make it out. They're really hard to make out on a piece of paper. Like when you're trying to cut this out and then put it down, right? Good morning, Marcus. Had a friend who walked her rabbit on a lead. It was a house rabbit. I know someone who has several house rabbits at their house. I don't know them. I know of them, and I've interacted with them. They're a hobby person, and they're big into their rabbits. I don't know. They have at least 2, and you see pictures of them, and you see furniture destroyed. You know, because rabbits don't give a shit. You know, they're like, you know, I'm like, you know, furniture's fucking expensive to begin with, and I don't know about you guys, but you know, furniture is like you buy something once and you're not gonna buy it again. It's not like this just isn't in the. I just don't like this style anymore. I'm gonna redo all my stuff. Okay, that's for like, you know, Tories. You know, normal people can't do stuff like that. But now, take a look at these. What is the name of this company? Decal Details by I-94 Enterprises. I know this is going to be a tough sell for you guys, but there's actually decals on this sheet. And I've got good vision. Well, I've got really good vision up close. Now that I have my contacts out. And you could barely make out what these are on here. There's actually some symbols over here that say U.S. Army. Just some writing that says U.S. Army on them. And you can't make this shit out. And this is all one sheet. So I have to cut them out. You know. So, yeah. For some reason, Microscale finds a size of paper that you can make out the decals really well. So they're really easy to cut out. And guess what? These are the ones you don't have to cut out because they're all individual decals. I mean, I'll have to cut out the edges of the circle. But, you know. Anyhow, so let's get some water. Let's put this stuff down. And get these going because they need to dry out and stuff. We'll get Mr. Micro set up here. The microscale stuff. Microsol, which I hardly use microsol at all. Let me get some water. Now, update on the cars. The car situation. After I was filming yesterday, I went out to the garage and worked on stripping the two cars and the two Mini Coopers. The Mini Cooper, I guess it's a little van. The Mini Cooper van and the Mini Cooper car itself. And stripped the paint off of it with a paint stripper. So I brushed this stuff on. It goes on like pudding. It's basically like pink pudding. And it's not very toxic, but... And I would have brought that in, but I need to rinse that outside, and it's too early. It was too dark to go do that. But anyhow, I painted those up after I modified them. Now, the regular Mini Cooper, I didn't do anything to at all. But the van I cut up because I wanted to put a turret in the back. And I'm telling you, that is the most dangerous thing that I do in my hobby. It's probably the most dangerous thing I do, period, is messing with trying to cut up a die-cast vehicle. Between trying to pull the rivets out, and you can watch all the videos you want in the world about use this size drill bit, make sure you use a drill bit that's made for metal. It is dangerous as fuck, okay? And I have the thing clamped down, and I'm being real careful, and nothing happened, but I'm like skating on thin ice the entire time. Because your hands are right there, and like I freaking need my hands, especially my right one. But I used metal drill bits, used a small one, went in, got stuck, tried to get it out, it broke off, so now you can't drill into there because you're trying to drill into a piece of metal that there's another piece of metal that's really just as hard as whatever you're going to try to drill back into. It's just a pain in the ass. So get them apart, It's harder than airbrushing, actually. I was complaining about airbrushing being a pain in the ass. Messing with die-cast vehicles is a real pain in the ass. Watching one guy, he's like, oh, yeah, you need to get an Excel saw blade and cut. I'm like, I ain't got no. I mean, it'll take you a fucking week to get through that. Anyhow, so we get the vehicles taken apart. I put this. All I want to do is take the back area like this, and basically put some kind of a hole in it. Because there's actually inside the back of it, just like this vehicle, there's some nice detail. There's actually some real nice detail on it. There's like a spare tire and little things. I'll show you guys later today when we pull that out. Even there's some nice detail in here. Stuff that's worth painting. So I figured I'd have a little hole in there, and you could see all the way to the bottom. We'll put a little machine gun in there in the front, and that Rob Halford looking guy is going to be shooting it, for the Cruel Britannia team faction. So I've got to cut a hole through here, and I'm telling you, it's dangerous as shit. So I'm like, all right, well, I can do a couple things. I can either cut it. I don't care if it's square or circular or what have you. I can either cut it, or I can put a hole through it and start expanding the hole with different size drill bits. And so I'm drilling this thing out when I'm drilling it, and this one's drilled out. But as you're drilling this, so much friction. I'm not a science guy, okay? But there's so much friction that's happening putting this in that it is warm. And I've got this miter box that's clamped. So it can't really move much, but I've still got another hand on it like this, right? But here's the problem. You got this drill bit. It's at high speed. I've got one hand on it like this, and I'm coming in like this. Okay, this is pretty freaking close to my fingers, all right? And I'd like to keep all my fingers. And I'm drilling down on this thing just to try to get the rivet out. And the friction that's being created here is warming up the whole case of this so much that it's like burning my fucking hand. So I had to come out and get a towel and put this on just to be able, and this thing it's like scalding hot. Like I'm wondering, like there's plastic parts on here. I don't know how the plastic parts aren't melting. Just from the friction that is being put somewhere else on this metal. It's conducting that much stuff. So anyways, we get them apart. I look at the two methods. And having cutting this open, I start using the drill bit. I'm like, man, I'm not getting anywhere. I need to use the cutting wheel. The problem is the cutting wheel I have it's definitely made one that's made for metal. It's not one of those ones that looks like it's made out of like hard, what do you call that stuff? Hard sandpaper. It's one that's supposedly fiberglass. Anyways, it does the job. It's made for that. I ended up getting it for something else. But the cutoff wheel is about this in diameter, about this size. And I'm trying to cut something that's not much bigger than this. I hate that fucking thing out there. So just in doing it, I'm having to, if I'm having to go down, but not going down far enough, because if I do, I end up cutting farther than I want it to go. So it's almost like I'm having to drop a line here, drop one there, drop one here, there, and then go in there. Why is that fucking thing connecting? Last time it happened, I was like, man, was it something that I said? It's like, no, my headphones were connecting to it or whatever. So I bet that's probably what happened. But it was a pain in the ass. And it's using high-speed stuff, and it's just, I told my wife, and she laughs when I say stuff like this. I said, it's more dangerous than messing with firearms. A firearm, you're not going to shoot yourself. It's like, okay, don't point it towards anybody. Is it safe? Right. And we're going to shoot that way. And I'm here, so no problem. But yeah, it's scary messing with that. And people make it look like it's super easy. It's the most dangerous thing that I do, You see that Harold Passat did it with a Hot Wheels car made in a Japanese command car. I love his creativity work. No, but this thing and the other one totally look like some Shanghai type vehicle. Yeah, he's definitely creative. He definitely doesn't keep anything. The rabbit kept burying into the sofa. Yeah, I don't like doing it. I'm telling you, I'm careful, but it's like you're playing with a match and gasoline in the other. And they're in two separate hands, but it's like, man, they're just too close to me for... I don't like it. I don't like it. So, but anyways, the paint stripped on them. I think they look pretty good. The paint stripper works really well. We can talk about that when I bring it. I just have to rinse it out. I need to rinse it outside. But I just got like a glass jar, and it goes on like pudding. It's probably the thickness of paint or whatever, which is good because it's not like you're taking this glass jar, you're submerging in this liquid like acetone, which smells toxic as hell. And then you have to submerge this in there, and then all that acetone is no good anymore. I literally just take the stuff out of the receptacle with an old paintbrush, paint it on. I actually gave it 2 coats, came back about an hour later, gave it another coat. The paint was already flaking off. Works really well. Okay, back to tanks. Okay, so we need the the one with the ammo paint, which is this one. Okay, this one is going to have blacked out stars all around. Okay, we're not going to use circular ones. So I don't feel like dealing with these ones that I have to cut out. So we're going to try to use as much micro scale as we can. We need an X-Acto knife, which I should have a mountain of. And I gotta be extra careful because I hate to admit this, but in the last 6 months, I'm doing a lot more fumbling mistakes than I ever have. I don't know if it's just age, carelessness. I've got used to wearing glasses and everything. I mean, I can't even watch TV. I'm constantly wearing glasses, because if I'm driving, I don't have to wear any glasses because I have contacts in. But you got stuff that's around arm's reach of you. I gotta wear glasses or it's blurry. You know? It's like trying to eat a meal that doesn't have enough salt in it. I'm adding salt to it. Okay, put the glasses on so you can see. Anything that's like arm's reach, I gotta put on glasses. Or just take them off, right? Because I'm nearsighted. So, and it almost seems like, you know, and they're not even, the readers aren't that powerful. They're like really at the low end of powerfulness. They're 125s or whatever. I think I went up to 150s, 1.5s. They're not very powerful, but it's enough that you're focused here and, you know, you're knocking things down. Nothing major, but it's enough that it's like, I don't like this, man. It's getting older. Shit sucks. Okay, M4A3 ammo, blacked out decals. Okay, so we need 4 stars. And I'm going to see if these don't explode. Because I don't have anything to lose. Okay, they probably will explode as soon as they touch water. So let's use these and see what happens with them. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them all out. We'll use this circular one for the front. The circular ones were in use for the front, but on the sides of the turrets, you just don't see any in Northwest Europe that have. These were I'm pretty sure these are Don's, and they were in his attic. So they'll probably explode like what do you call that? Fuck, I don't know what I'm talking about. Stained glass window. If not, we'll move on. I suspect that they probably will not work. All right, let's get a clean brush for the micro set. Again, glasses back on because its arms reach away. I can't see it. It's all one big blur. Yeah, Zhao doesn't let anybody stop him. Oh, they don't make that. Fuck this. I'm going to make it. Probably the thing I've been the most impressed that he ever made was that, I don't know what the hell it's called right now, that anti-tank gun that they used in, that self-propelled anti-tank thing that they made in North Africa, that the Germans had in North Africa. And they only had like 3 of them or something like that, but it's a weird contraption looking vehicle. It's got a Pack 36, Pack 38 on it. Strange contraption. You know what I'm talking about. These are it's Gazala or Alamein, one of those two. I don't do either one of those 2 battles, so. There's actually a game being run at the convention, and I know the person running it, and it's a battle about Operation Crusader. And I'm like, I'm not going to play it, because I know too much about that, and if there's something that's wrong in it, it's going to bug the hell out of me. And it's a set of rules I don't play anyways, so. Now, let's see what happens here. Got nothing to lose. These look kind of yellow, but I'm putting them in here, and they're pretty damn near white. Come on. It's a crack I'm already seeing. Yeah. And one of the guys in the model group said, "Oh yeah, if that happens to you, just clear coat them with a clear coat and then take them off." I tried that one time, it didn't work. I'm like, yeah, I'll just buy new decals. Now these are going to be blacked out, so I don't really care if they're not in a great shape. I'm going to paint over them. Let's see what we can make out of this. Let's go to the edge here. I suspect that they're going to shatter immediately. But I'd love to be wrong. What I'm getting at is if like say an arm of the star breaks, it's not a big deal as long as the main shape is there for me to paint over. Just using it as a guide. Now there are some people that, believe it or not, actually make stencils in this scale. But I'm not really looking for new products to spend money on. I don't know, I think we're actually going to make this one work. Let's get a little bit of a height advantage on this. No, yeah, see it's shattered here. There's enough left on here that we can use as a guide. No. All right. You guys are getting demoted. All right. No, it was worth a shot. Those weren't ones I painted. I bought anyways. All right. Yeah, I can't even make out what those are. They're so damn. I'm actually surprised how few decal companies there are that I've encountered that actually make individual decals. It's usually like the whole sheet. And I swear in the early 90s when I was doing most of my modeling, 80s, 90s, that wasn't the case. None of the Airfix models were that way. The MPCs weren't that way. Hasegawa wasn't that way. Fujimi wasn't that way. Tamiya wasn't that way. This whole, let's just make one thing a decal. Like, people are going to cut them out anyway, so let's just make it all one thing. No, I don't remember that being the case. All right, so the right size decals is we're working on the ones in this area. We're going to use 2 of these for the turret and 2 of these for the side. So we'll use this one for this side and this one for the other one. And for the turrets, I have no choice but using these ones that are here. All right, now, I have a pair of scissors handy. These are all this extra flash of paper. Into picking it up off the floor. Ever feel like the chair you're sitting on goes on strike? Like this one just like it like moved down a little bit without me wanting to. It's tired of carrying me. Yeah, it's super cheap when we got it. I think it was $20 or something like that. We got it at this place that's selling things that nobody wants. You buy like pallets of things and just have to be on the lookout for another one. Okay, there's one. Let's go ahead and get it doing its thing. Mainly doing this to get these guys off my desk here. Yep, there it goes. It went down another quarter inch or half inch or something. There it is, one again. It's funny because I pretty much keep it at the lowest setting anyways. So it's not like it's exhausted being at a higher setting and it just can't take it anymore. There it is, it goes again. We just dropped to the bottom. Yeah, it is there. Okay. And I don't have my garbage over here. We'll fix that. Went to the store yesterday. And didn't realize there was so many die-cast vehicles that are extremely expensive because they're for collectors. Like, they're fucking toys, man. Like $8 for one vehicle. I can't pay that shit. All right, the one that was over here was the first one we put down. So let's try this again. Time for a new chair. Yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. That's all. Sometimes I complain about my shirts getting smaller, but it's just me gaining weight. Yeah. It's my metabolism. It's not having a metabolism anymore is what the problem is. We all have our addictions, and mine is food quantity. Not necessarily eating bad stuff. I just can't eat very little. I like to eat. That's it. I don't, people go, oh, I lose weight. I cut out my drinking. I have no drinking to cut out. I mean, I drink, but I don't drink enough to, I may have one drink a month, maybe. Maybe. We still have some. See, because it's white on white, I was not able to tell. And I'll show you guys a little bit. It's not a big deal. We got to paint over it anyways. And it's about right there is where we want it. It's not in the center of the tank. Go figure, it's towards the front. But there's a little bit of white that's left over there. You just can't see it because it's like white on white on the decal sheet. So what we'll do is we gotta paint over that black anyway, so we cover that up. I'm using that pretty much as a guide. All right, let's cut these two out before we put the other one in. Yeah, this chair actually, I dislike this chair for many reasons. The biggest one is it has all kinds of like little paint specks on it. And the only thing I can figure is, here's the only thing I can figure. And it's funny because I don't do much of this anyways. Somehow little bits of paint, and I don't mean live paint that got on here that dried out, because then it'd be all over me. And I don't have paint. I think of all the years painting, I may have gotten paint on my shirt once. So the paint's not going this way, it's that way. But I think somehow some of the paint gets scraped off. There's a little bit of a paint, and somehow it falls on here. And then my body temperature melts that paint onto this pleather. And it's hard to get off. So when you get up from this thing, there's all kinds of little See all these little specks and stuff on here? I don't know if you can see that. That's like little bits of paint that, you'd have to get in here and like remove. And I don't know why that happens. I've never had that happen on a chair before. It's freaking annoying. There's no point in fixing it now. And I try to use I'll show you. Oh, you put hand sanitizer on it, right? Because hand sanitizer takes all that paint off. That doesn't work worth a damn. So, it's like what I say about buying an airbrush. You can buy an airbrush that costs $30, right? And then all the money you save on buying that cheap ass airbrush, you're spending it getting frustrated by it. Or you could just buy a $150 airbrush that doesn't cause you all the problems that $30 airbrush will. There's just some things you just shouldn't cut corners on. Let's see if we can cut this off a little bit. You can save money, but then it costs you time. So how much time are you worth? It's like when I moved into this house is on an acre. I've always mowed my own lawn, except at this place. I had a push mower, always did a push mower, self-propelled push mower, whatever. If I was to mow this lawn with a push mower, it's probably going to take somewhere about 4 times longer than the other house. I just don't want that time. I'm like, every other weekend every weekend, I would be giving up a good chunk of my weekend to basically being outside, battling Mother Nature. I'm like, it's not worth it. Then I don't have any time. So you just have to decide what your time's worth to you. Or you buy a riding lawnmower and have to spend, multiple thousands of dollars. I was floored how expensive they are. Multiple thousands of dollars. I'm like, that's car money. That's car kind of prices. Okay, I think we've got this one where we need it to be. All right. So yeah, I was disappointed I didn't have any Japanese die-cast cars. It's like I didn't avoid them. I got the ones that were like basically like $1 or whatever, and none of them were Japanese. So I go to the store and I'm like, all right, let's see what they have out there. And they bring out new models every year, so the old ones aren't available, and you buy them. It's like by the time you search, you're probably better off buying them like on eBay. Because I do want an Asian persuasion influence team, but I get ahead of myself, The shipping is just stupid now. It's like almost you need something free because by the time you add the shipping, you're at $6. You're basically at $6 for a free item. Nobody's trying to gouge you. That's just what shipping costs. Okay. Now let's cut off the ends. But yeah, messing with the Dremel. Because the material is so hard, and it really is. The die-cast metal is really hard. And you got to be careful; it doesn't slip on you. Like I said, it's extremely, it's a dangerous thing. Okay, now let's go over here. Let's put this equivalently over on this side. Let's take the big one. This is probably going to have a little bit of white showing as well. Cut that little guy off. But I do enjoy looking for stuff to buy, even if I don't buy any of it. I mean, it's entertaining. Now, there's this one guy that I follow on, what's he on, Facebook? Yeah, and he hasn't told me this, but he keeps posting pictures of stuff, and he's painting his tools in gray, not metallic, and I think I'm gonna give it a shot on this because I really like the way it looks. I've just never done that. I've always painted my tools a metallic color. So we might give it a shot with these. Even these show a little bit of white. It's not a problem. Even if I wasn't going to black them out, it's not an issue. And you know, I don't have a problem making my own, painting my own. Oh, now we got a floater. Now I might have to guess and see which side's actually the upside. Is it this one or did it turn around? I don't care as long as it stays on there because we're going to paint over it. Okay, there's that one. And then we're going to do a, what do you have on the front of these Shermans? So we can do probably a circular one on the front. Here's a circular one, just straight stars. Another circular one. One with a broken, I'll do one of the stencil ones in the front. That one won't be blacked out. That one will actually leave as is. This one right here is a good candidate. Yeah, they give you all these ones with circles around them, and you're only going to find them on the side of the vehicle in Italy, and really only in the side of the turret. Side of the turret in Italy. Now, I know I have that thing floating around here somewhere. That's a lot easier for cutting around. Both of these shitty ass scissors, they are. Gotta go to the grocery run. Have a great day. You too, man. Wait, are they supposed to be gray? Nah, it's supposed to be metallic, but the problem is it just depends on what kind of a look you want. I kind of like, I like my vehicles to look like a graphic novel. You know, I'd say comic book, but there's a lot of shitty looking comic books. I want them to be realistic, but not, you know, uber realistic. And I like how they look in gray. But I've never painted metallic stuff gray. I've seen people like do figures and they'll paint like a, you know, an MP40 or something like that. Some submachine gun that's all, something that's all like gunmetal color. And they don't use gunmetal. They use different shades of gray. And I've never done it before. Sometimes I like how it looks, sometimes I don't. But it's certainly a different take on it. I just haven't really explored that a whole lot. Okay, this next one is, what do we got here? Wow, this one's percolating for that one. This is a green one. This one also says black dots, stars all around. I think we decided we're going to put one on the front on this one. Oh. Oh. That's right. This one says junk on front, so we're not going to put one on the front. Okay, well that circular one we'll use for this guy. Got it. Got it. So this is going to be the same as this one, except this one's going to have the, well, ultimately, what difference does it make which one of the two has junk on it? And this is my attempt to make them all to look different. Because I've got a lot of these now. I think this is like the 6th or 7th one, just of this particular die-cast model. And these used to be $3 a piece or something like that. You know, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. And I'm going to put these on the turret, and I'm going to leave them round. Hey, this is one for Italy, whatever. I changed my mind. And these I don't have to cut out, so we can just, these will be the two for the turret there. I know I don't have any. I know I don't have any of those. All right, the ones on the side, we use these bigger ones. And those will cut out. And we won't have any, we won't have one on the front. Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you see a round one on a Sherman tank, it's almost always on the turret, almost always in Italy. Not counting on the Glacis. They have some on the Glacis that are round, but for whatever reason. And I read in the book, they supposedly created some kind of ordinance. That's how they wanted to do it, but kind of low priority. I don't know, people were probably getting confused between a Balkenkreuz and a White Star. I don't know. People, you know. I'm always wondering why they ended up putting that mandate that they got rid of the original U.S. roundel for the Air Force. Had a little red in the center of it, of the star, and they got rid of that because people were confusing it for the zero. I mean, like you got to just ignore the white star. I don't know. Maybe the white was fading. Who knows? But I actually like the red in the center. I think it looks good. But nobody asked me. I wasn't invented yet. Now, I don't know how much detail on the die-cast vehicles I'm actually going to gain by removing the paint. But I know that there is a lot of paint on many die-cast vehicles in places where there really shouldn't be any. Shouldn't be as thick as it is. And some, like these die-cast tanks, I didn't remove the paint on them. I'm going to put this in here as well, like this. Now, we got one ready to go? Yeah, we got the one for the, this is just the empty paper of the other one. Let's get it out of here so we won't get confused. And then this is the one that goes on the front. So let's fish this one out of here. Like a little dot in the other where the decal didn't get made. Let's make sure that's lined up. Cutting this one out for the other vehicle. Did you say the guy that walks his cat? What company does he have? Let's see here. Veni Vidi Vici. Those were really popular. I don't know if they're still in business anymore. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just. Those are the first decals that I heard about at 15 millimeter for, like, ancient stuff. But they almost had, like, eagles or whatever. They almost looked like decals that you needed to, like, paint a shield and maybe, like, put other stuff on it and then put this decal. It was almost like it wasn't a decal for the shield itself. I mean, I guess it could be, but I always looked at it as like decals for, like, you paint a shield and you need like a lion or something on it, or an eagle or something on it. So you use the decal to put that black eagle or whatever. Something that would be a pain to paint. Because they pretty much I think they only come in one color. And I guess they work fine if you just want to do that as one thing. But I always looked at them like, if I got these, it would be like as an enhancer, right? Like, I want to be a blue shield with a white eagle on it, right? So I get the set of decals that are just all white eagles. And then I paint the blue, maybe shade the blue however it needed to be, and then put that white eagle on there, and maybe shade it around also some more. But because they're definitely more basic than, say, Little Big Man Studios or something like that. But it's going on 3 weeks waiting for your Jap tanks and infantry. I'm hoping it isn't a repeat of your Sumerian army. It took 2 months and you lost interest. Yeah, you were saying that yesterday. I totally suffer from that. That kind of stuff happens to me too. You take so long getting something that you just lose momentum. And that's totally normal to be, that way. Sorry, man, you're gonna have to find other things to make you seem weird. That happens to everybody. That kind of stuff happens to everybody. Just put these on the side of the turret. Yeah, man, I didn't realize it had been so long since I had seen that diecast racing stuff. and I watched some of it this last week, and that is just, that guy has some amazing content. Just some amazing, amazing content. And unfortunately, it's edited. And to what degree, are these going to look good? To what degree they're edited, hopefully it's not like, oh, that didn't work out. Well, we don't want that result, so let's do another race kind of thing. Hopefully it's not to that degree, but we probably are going to have to use a little bit of microsol on this one. There we go. Let's move you down a little bit more. These are like borderline too big for this. We don't want all the tanks to be the same in a given personality. Yeah, we're going to have to microsol this because it's so big that it's getting around the edges where it normally would curve. Yeah, but the star is the same size as that one. It just has a circle around it. The same size star. All right, and these are the two for the sides. The name of the channel, well, there's many of them. This is the first one I came across. I tried watching one of the other ones, and it wasn't very good compared to the content. But it's called 3D Bot Maker. And they just did this. They just finished a rally one. And the thing is, it's the video quality is probably the best video quality of anything that I've seen hobby related on the internet. It's extremely impressive. I'm extremely impressed by it. And the commentary is just freaking hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Now, I thought it was two guys. I think the word on the street that it's one guy with a voice box doing both voices. Kind of like Phil Henry. Except Phil Henry doesn't use a voice box. I don't think. But anyhow, there's been many times where I'm laughing out loud. I'm like watching this alone and I'm laughing out loud. Like it's freaking hilarious. But there's a lot of content out there. It's called, and he makes his own like 3D printing stuff. I think that's where his thing. He makes supposedly the backstory between this guy is this guy who's a dad in California, and he wanted to. His kid was in die-cast cars, and he wanted to get into it. And he decided, what if I do these races and I announced them like a real race? And I mean, he's got millions of followers, and he deserves to have even more. I mean, it is some. I look at his videos and I'm like, this would take an age just to edit one video, But he does some of that kind of stuff in real life. He does some kind of video editing, whatever it is that he does for a living. So obviously, it's a lot easier for him to do that than it would be me. But definitely check it out. It's really, really top quality stuff. And there's a lot of really unexpected, ironic things that happen. Hopefully they happen on their own. They're not, forced, but it's worth watching. It's definitely edge of your seat. You never know what's going to happen next kind of stuff. But it's extremely well done. I can't say enough about it. And I don't know the guy or whatever. But he's got a lot of content. He's been doing it for, 5 or 6 years now. Seems like it. So, he's got different. He has a room where I think I'm just supposed to leave this on here and just leave it alone and let it do its magic. Come back and do. We're going to apply this to all of it. You want these flat. These are just going to be a guide. Yeah, these are really flat. Like, you don't see the decal come up when you look at it sideways. I'll be right back. Okay. I'll pull it up here. I'll show you what the page looks like. Make sure you're at the right place. It's it's some incredible stuff. And it's totally not tempting to do anything like that because I'd want it to be that kind of quality, and you're just not going to have that quality. I mean, I've seen other people to do, and their stuff. I hate to say it, the other ones I've seen just look like garbage compared to this guy's quality is so good. It's I've mentioned this before. I think it's the best thing on YouTube. Let me show you what it looks like. It. Yeah, it looks like this. Oh, that's actually playing a little preview. There you go. And he doesn't need me promoting his channel. He's got millions of followers, and he should. Yeah, I mean it's he's got multiple cameras. He's got 6 or 7 different cameras, instant replays, graphics over stuff. Got sounds that go along with everything. It's just, the only thing is, his cars really aren't. They're however they come out of the box. It's not like they're enhanced or something like that. Well, I wouldn't want to enhance the look of the cars and then have them crash into each other. We don't want to do that. That's have trouble sleeping at night if we do stuff like that. All right, on off to the half track. What do you decide you're going to do with the half track? I've got 3 other ones. I don't want them the same. Yeah, some of these have some really big stars on them. Do they all have a star on the side? Yeah, I wanted a star on the back. Okay, these all have a star in the same place. Okay, I want to put a small star on the back. Is there space on the door for a star? No, there isn't. Because it's fold. It has these doors that fold down. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, we got the King Kong to do too. El Kingo Kongo. The knocked out King Kong, the King Kong that's waiting on OnStar to come over and get it fired up again and through a track. Press the OnStar button. Okay, I'm not going to put one on the front, just to be different. That way it would be one that doesn't have it on the front at all. Is there a little star we can put on the back that we don't have to cut the stuff off of it? No. And some of these actually, if I remember correctly, they have a stutter in the star. So in other words, you have the star like this. You have a star that's maybe like this, and just it's out of register just a tiny little bit. It's almost like it's skipped over. So you'll see one that has like 2 lines next to itself. Looks like a stutter in it. So I'm not a huge fan of those. The Alaran ones are okay, other than the backing paper is just... No, these have a stutter in them too. Not in all of them. Yeah, but these are hard to cut out because you can't see hardly with a backing paper. All right, let's use this one where we don't have to cut the circle out. Because cutting the circle out and not being able to see it through the backing paper is a bad combination. So this one we'll just have to cut the star out. This will be the one for the rear. And I'm gonna put two on the sides. Okay. All three of these are the same size. I'm just not gonna put one on the front on this one, just to be different. It's an excellent model. Scales almost perfectly to 1/72nd. Just like these scale almost perfectly to 1/76th. All right, let's cut these things down a little bit because these are all on one sheet. So why was Barnes saying that a British van would need to be white? Is there like a bunch of like British vans that are white? Because I can make the one vehicle that has the pintle mount. I can make it white. It's like a little Austin. Looks like a little delivery vehicle, like delivering pizzas or something like that. So I'm gonna make the little Mini Cooper British Racing Green. Just got back. Yeah, Venivici is still running. Yeah, I remember they used to be. Well, I think Essex used to carry them, right? They may still carry them. Essex was a bigger deal back then. Now they got a lot more competition. And I actually had a really bad impression with Essex before I even started playing DBA. Because there was this game called Armati that was originally the game that I was going to want to play, and then everybody stopped playing the game. And I bought a couple of army packs way back when from Essex, and they gave me the incorrect figures. Like they give you the right number of figures, and it's like they make the troops. It's not like they were making them for some nation that, well, these will work for them. It was like they make the right troops. They just, whoever made these army packs got lazy and decided to put the wrong ones in there. But so I already had like a bad impression of Essex going in. But if I can pick the individual figures, yeah, the Essex figures actually paint up just fine. The metal on them is sometimes a little too soft for my taste, but I'm not against them now. I just had a bad experience with army packs. Yeah, builders and tradesmen over here almost always have white panel vans. Okay. I still have the package of this now. Where is it? Nope. 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 It's a little Austin thing. I guess Mini Cooper changed because it's an Austin Mini Cooper as opposed to whatever the hell the new one is. Anyways, you'll see it later today. All right. So this is the stuff for this guy. So King Kong is going to get. You've seen a couple of white stars, and they don't need to be massive. Let's use these. Do we have any that we don't need to? No, we're going to have to cut off all of them. If we want to use this. No, let's be lazy. Let's be lazy and use these. These do have a stutter. I can see the stutter from here. But we just need two. Speaking of those cars, I still have dreams of one day cobbling together a Viking long car from the Far Side. I gotta look that up. Viking long car. Far Side. I remember the Far Side. Is Far Side still around? Oh dear. The Viking long car was once the scourge of the European roadways. I don't break for Saxons. King Kong. We'll forego putting these in there. Just now we're going to get a bit mixed up. We'll do the same thing with this one. If you know the Far Side, then you remember, what was the name of that one? The one with the penguin and Bill the Cat. Opus was the penguin's name. The Bill the Cat. I know some people that used to have a cat that cat looks like Bill the Cat. Actually, he was in worse shape than Bill the Cat. Meth head cat. What was the name of that cartoon? Let's pay attention. I'll put that in there. All right. Now, set. Yeah, but the price on the freaking cars is all over the place. You got some that are like $1. Some you can get at Poundland. And then some that are like $7. I'm like, I spent $7 on it. And then even more than that. It's just that's uncalled for. Poundland. You have to rename the name of that place because I'm sure it's gone up in price. Now it's a pound 50. Yeah, I could see the edge of the decal. The question is it very raised? I don't think so. I've used the Alaran one before, and they lay pretty flat. The only annoyance is that they you have to cut them out. Poundland still sounds like a whorehouse. Discount whorehouse. Crap, it slipped. There we go. Let's make sure it doesn't. We know which side up is. Because we're not going to black these decals out. I don't think that I've ever seen a half track with blacked out stars. I'm sure it's happened. Okay. This actually turned out better than I remember them being. Alaran's in Michigan. Yeah, these are pretty flat as well. Put the Microsoft on these while we're waiting. Yeah, there's some people that actually make some stencils in this scale. I'm like, yeah, my airbrush scenes, that's like a worry I don't need. Gotta be real precise with the airbrush then. And bigger than that, the stencil has to be small enough that if you want to put it somewhere, it can lay flat up against the vehicle. That's going to be a hard ask sometimes. Why are you such a hard ask? Yeah, one of those guys at the game convention, he always plays some of the games and plays the cooperative games. And he's one of those guys that I told one of the guys, I said, the guy's got some kind of condition. Because he'll like ask a question. He'll like stop everything to ask a question. In the middle of you answering his question, he's already asking you another question. So like, all right, well, hold on a second. You're the one that interrupted everything to get this information. If you're not interested, certainly nobody else is. And he's like, he does this like multiple times during a game. And it's like, holy shit. Not a bad guy. He's got a condition. What's going on here with the... There we go. You'd think it'd be up here. Nope. It's in that part of the vehicle. Now, you better believe this thing's going to have a nickname. The King Kong, maybe Big Banana or something like that, Monkey business. Right there. Ooh. Let me look at something here. Let's see here. All right, this is what I need to get in the store. So, and they should have this. I mean, some of these stores, like, it just gets to the point where it's like, I saw a meme the other day, and it was about men going into a store. Allow this time. Use current location. About, set as your store. About men going into a store and not asking where things are. And the problem is that I don't ask for directions 'cause I don't trust other people's directions, but that's different. I don't ask where things are because people just don't know anymore, and it's frustrating. But this particular store will actually, you can look for something and it'll tell you what aisle it's in. And actually, in here, it even tells you on a little map where it's located. Now, the last time I looked for something, it wasn't accurate, but it was like the item was supposed to be here on this side, and it wasn't. It was on that. It was across the way, right in the same place. So it's close. So Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of that. Perfect. I'm gonna go check that out. It's little screen stuff. I need some screen stuff for to put in the car. Like, so the guy didn't go flying out the window. Okay. Okay, this guy is good to go. Did we microsol this thing? I don't think we did. I don't think we microsolved this one. And then the other thing I need to do is to get these guys off of here, I need to go pull the instructions on both of these and gloss coat where their decals are going to go. I was trying to be a good little boy and do this instead of just like, all right, we're going to work on the next thing we're going to work on, which I know what it is. So we're going to paint some barriers because they're already primed black. All right, we're done with this. Let's put this away. Not just throw it off to the side. Let's actually put it away. We have a bolt action learning game next week, so I might build up a 28mm platoon, and the Alpini are taking my fancy a bit. Have you read a book on the Alpini at Stalingrad, Sacrifice on the Steppe? No. At Stalingrad or on the flank of Stalingrad? Because the Italians were on the north. I believe the Italians were on the north, and they just got freaking decimated. They got nothing to stop a T-34. I don't think the Germans gave me any Pac 40s or anything like that. Maybe in Italy. But, all right, I'm going to use the little boys' room. I'll be right back. All right, so let's get the clear coat out, which is the best smelling stuff I have. This stuff smells even better than a hand sanitizer. We got a Spitfire and this commie bastard. You commie bastard. Yeah, something like this ought to be fine. The Pac 36s at some point. I ain't stopping at T-34. Great Escape Dames, so some figs for them with one anyways. Yeah, they're 47. I don't think I've ever seen their 47 with a gun shield. You know? Now here, go fight tanks. Oh, you don't get a gun shield, by the way. What? So, yeah, we'll put the decals on now. We can weather and do everything around it. So this will last a lifetime or until I spill it. All right. Spitfire first. Doesn't need to be real thick. Got one there. Got one there. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's funny, this stuff isn't sticky at all. It's literally like water. Okay, nothing else on the underside. However, this side has all kinds of stuff on it. You've got the tail section here. And all the way from the canopy here until basically here, it's going to be coated. Same thing on the other side. Oh, there's a bunch of little other markings and shit like that. Crap, I forgot about that. Planes are annoying that way. They got all kinds of like stuff in places that shouldn't have it. Actually, you could probably make an argument, just clear coat the whole damn thing. It's a plane. Yeah, it's too late now. We got that marking there. Oh, is there instructions on how to fly a plane down here? Yeah, I guess there are. Don't stick your whole head in front of the shotgun, stuff like that. Don't stick your head in the, inside the propeller. All right. We'll leave that alone. This one has a lot of decals. I'm actually really impressed with the quality of this particular model. You think Airfix, it's a piece of junk. It's an old piece, just the panel lines and everything on this thing are really superb, really, really crisp. And that thing was like $7, something like that. It was really, really cheap, like retail on Amazon. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the directions on Shapeways, not Shapeways, whatever it's called. I can't remember. Why did I say Shapeways? I haven't used Shapeways in a decade. Scalemates, that's what it is. I-15 bis Scalemates. And it is this one, ICM. All right, so we need to cover this area here, and this area here, on the bottom, and the top, the whole tail vertical section, this whole tail vertical section. From the cockpit all the way to maybe like that. Same thing on the other side. This thing was a pain in the butt to put together the struts, and because there weren't any holes, any locators. And then in the top, the red star going in this zone in here. So make it bigger so we can move it if we need to. All right. Rinse this out. And we're done with this. And we can set this aside. Yeah, this whole waiting game, like, so you gotta work on a bunch of different things, because like, okay, I can't do anything further on that until it dries, kind of thing. Although, how's this microsol looking on the decals on the turret? May need to apply it again. I'll tell you what, we're gonna keep work on this before we switch gears, because let's get a palette of which we have a ton of. Here's the olive drab this one's done in. Here's the olive drab that one's done in. Let's do this one first. Get a little bit of black. A little bit of water. A brush that we have a lot of confidence in. And let's start with the Vallejo one. Always get it. Always get this anytime I'm dealing with that craft paint. However I'm closing it, I'm not holding my mouth right, and I always get it all over me. Not all over me, but just get a little spot on it. I don't want to transfer that onto something else. Like I did with the Spitfire. Had that white paint explosion. Man, I got it here too. Like, what the hell, man? Asshole. Good morning. Yeah, just cleaning up some decals here. A little bit of the white showing here. Now, we're going to take this, if I paint this directly on here, it's going to look a little too bright, and it's going to stand out. So what I'd like to do is make it a little bit darker. Just like that. Just make it disappear. just like that. And this turret won't need anything on it. Nope. This one here, same thing. Even if we're going, oh, can't use the same olive drab because it isn't the same one. This is the one from Ammo Meg. Which unfortunately is super watery. Perfect. Go the other side. I like to just kind of almost stipple it. Okay, that's good. Now we move to the turret. Perfect. Same thing with this guy, or is this guy good? This guy's good. How's King Kong looking? It's good. Okay, cool. All right. That's done. All right, these get up here to dry. Now we'll shift. Now the next step on these things is, let's see, picking out the black lining probably on them, and then do the dry brush. Just start doing the weathering process. Nope, that doesn't go there. Wrong move, pal. All right, let's make a mess. This one will work just fine. Fun with craft paint. All right, so what are we gonna do is, I believe this is it. Hopefully it's not in the garage. We have lots of these barriers here. And painted, they look like this. So what I'm gonna start off with, I'm gonna start off with one. This has been a long time since I painted it. They don't have to look exactly the same. They just need to look equivalent. As a matter of fact, my new ones will probably look better than this, because we're going to add some. This has no brown staining or anything on it, which is kind of what we do now. So I know that we used these gray paints down in this area. This was specifically what I got them for. So let's see who's here. We've got classic French gray, but it's not been opened. Okay, so this wasn't one of the colors. I got this. I must have gotten this one after that. We did not use that on there. Obviously, we have black. It's spray painted in black. We got pewter gray. Then we got one called pavement, don't we? Oh, this is burnt umber. There's none of that in there. Granite gray, right? Where are they? Maybe some of them are over here. I know we have one called Pavement. Black. Black. Maybe there aren't that many shades in it. Pavement, okay. Maybe it was just these three colors. Okay, we'll roll with just these three colors. Apple Barrel, they're not my favorite. They're a little watery compared to the other ones. And we're just going to roll with this and see what happens. Now, let's use something to protect this surface with. Put the cutting board. We don't paint on the cutting board. This should work just fine. All right, let's get a brush we don't give a crap about. And one of these, of which I have a zillion. All right, darkest color first, Pavement it is. So these are just barriers that tell you which way the race goes. Yeah, we didn't even paint the supports on the back. So that was just done very basically. And I don't know when the people that used to sell this stuff, they were like Phoenix something or whatever. They would come to our shows here in Florida all the time, and they just stopped coming. Not like Virginia or something like that. Maybe they weren't making enough money or whatever, but I don't know. What's the back of this look like? Same, okay. It's a shame I bought stuff from them before, so I don't mind vendors that come by that I buy stuff from. And some people you got some vendors that are just like kind of, I mean, just have stuff that just doesn't make sense. Like they got like fantasy candles and stuff like that. It's a game convention. What the hell are you buying candles for? I mean, you could. It's fine to have them there, but you know there's a limited amount of space, so it's like you want things that are game related there, not to take a like you'll have some vendor that might want to come and they can't show up because there's not enough tables left. It is kind of limiting, but I know for a fact that one of the vendors that's always there is not going to be there because, well, the owner passed away, so I don't think that I suspect that the wife is not going to be there. I haven't heard anything official, but, and then the other one is I heard through the grapevine that one of the people's having some kind of surgery done, so they won't be able to make it. Okay, so this is just the basic color. I'm not going to rinse this thing in between colors. I think we'll be okay. We're going to try to do the easy, lazy way of doing this. Like I said, we're going to do one, as I did that many, many years ago. Probably 5 or 6 years ago. And the thing I know about dry brushing is you can't just dry brush one color and get good results. You need multiple colors. And the colors you use cannot be that close or it defeats the whole purpose. You need contrast. You don't need extreme contrast, but you do need contrast. So we'll just run this across this, and we don't have any, there's no staining or anything on this thing, and we do that now, so we'll enhance that one and make it look better. But we want to get to that point because I'm happy with that as the kind of the starting point. And this is just MDF stuff. This is just MDF, which I really like as a material because it smells good. That burning smell is kind of nice. I don't know, it's like a clean smell. But gluing it is a pain in the butt. I'm not a fan of. I believe I used epoxy to glue these things. So I don't think they're gonna come apart. I'm not a fan of using white glue. You know, white glue is like it works great, and some you use paint that's too watery and it reactivates and it falls apart. And I don't want something to undo the work that I've done on it. Okay. we do this granite gray. I don't know if we added white to it afterwards. We may have. This is a little bit of a blue tint, almost like a duck egg blue. We got these retired people that are mowing on the weekend. Like, hey, how about do that Monday through Friday when I'm at work and I'm not filming the video? Want to make this look like concrete, even though technically this would be really thin concrete, but let's see how we get on with these colors, and then we'll paint the yellow in there. If these aren't the same colors, they're close enough for me to be happy with. Now, I hadn't played this game since they added the new rules of jumps and stuff like that, so we're going to start off real small. Just have to get together with Mitch and kind of relearn how to play the damn thing again. And it'll have a different name because I plan on not necessarily following the letter of the law when something doesn't make sense. 90% of it will be the same game. But, something will be like, this doesn't make any sense to do it this way. I'm sure we're going to come across stuff like that. We'll want to change something. It's like, well, you're not playing Gaslands the way it's intended. I said, well, I bought the rules. I can do whatever the hell I want with it. I'll call it something different. I'll come up with a better name for whatever we're doing. So, okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's go ahead and get the yellow down. I don't believe I pre-coated it in brown. Maybe I did. All right, what yellow? I'm almost certain I used this yellow. And this is watery as hell, but it doesn't matter. Now, we're going to go ahead and use a brown base for one of these. What would I have used? I probably would have used something like, maybe not dark chocolate, but something like this. What color is this? Tell me it's not a faux card. Americana Raw Sienna. All right, so we're going to paint these arrows in Raw Sienna. Let's come over to this side. Get a little bit of that. That brush I was using earlier is... Well, we could probably use something a little bit bigger so we can get done this month. I just want to see how one looks. Basically equivalent to this spot. And then we'll go ahead and knock them all out. So let's get some of this Phoenix Flames. This is a beautiful yellow. But, yellows, doesn't cover worth a shit. We don't need it to cover worth a shit. It's going to look worn anyways. And I suspect that this is going to look significantly different. I wouldn't be surprised that I actually like the way this one looks more than that one. Let's mix some of this in here with it. It is going to be semi-transparent. That's okay, especially when we add a little bit of water. Okay, and we're going to skip one, and then this one's yellow over here, and then this one's yellow as well. I don't think I covered it. If I did it now, I probably would cover the whole thing in brown. Just paint the whole thing brown and then dial it up. But I'm pretty sure that was not done at the time. This almost looks like a product called Soundwall, and they use it up and down the interstates when they want to build a community that's right up against the interstate, and they don't want it to sound like a racetrack every day. Just watering it down so we get some smoother coverage. And I think this would work really well, because I tell you right now, you paint over concrete, concrete is going to suck every little bit of the color out of it. All right, so far so good. Let's dial this up a little bit more. And then we're probably going to end up dry brushing the concrete color over it. And I don't have to be really neat with this. This is apocalyptic to a degree. Just a touch of white. There we go. And I believe this set came with 20 of these. So we have a few more of these to do. Yeah, I like this better than the original one. I like it better than the original one. Let's see if we can. And we've used these painted black. We got the gates to paint too. I'll make this look nice. I want to play nice looking games. Somebody's playing them in these damn magazines. By God, why can't it be me? Well, I guess the internet's working okay today. It was jumpy as hell yesterday, driving everybody crazy with a crap frame rate. Yeah, like I said, I like the new one better. Go figure. Oh, that's good. Okay, well, we can keep tinkering with these. We're probably going to end up dry brushing over it. Yep. Okay, and we haven't even painted the back side, so let's go on a tear. Let's pick one color, do it all the way through. Yeah, because these definitely need to be painted brown, like some kind of rusty support beam kind of thing. Much better today, yeah. Well, like I said, I didn't do anything different. This is exactly the same thing. So when it misbehaves, it's not my doing. There's some people who always line a screw with stuff. Like, hey, let's try doing it this way. I'm like, nah, this worked. Let's keep doing it that same way. All right. I think if we pull just one or two out, we'll be all right. What time is it, anyways? Oh, I probably need to stop. I need to probably stop and get ready. We're going to go out here shortly, but this is what we're going to, we got about 20 of these, and you just put these around the track to make sure that you're going in the correct direction, kind of thing. All right, to be continued, folks. All right, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys on the next one.